Today I'm going to show you part 2 of our bathroom remodel. So this has taken longer than expected. We started this about 2 months ago, I think, but this is real life. And I'm going to show you us fixing the mistakes that we made in our first part of this video. So if you haven't seen that one, I will link it down below. At the end of this video, I'll show you how much we spent total on this bathroom and if we think it was worth it.
So I'm picking up right where I left off and finishing up the wallpapering. This is the 4th roll that I had to use, so the cost for this did add up more than expected.
I want to share just a few little wallpapering tricks. We do have these textured walls. They're pretty lightly textured, except there's some spots that have a little bit more of a texture. You can see here in this black area. That I should have sanded down because when I went over it, it kind of took some of the paint or the wallpaper off with my tool to scrape it down. It kind of scraped the wallpaper a little bit. Also, if you really get them super close to each other without overlapping, that helps a lot. Otherwise, there is this little white seam. It's not the wall, that's like the edge of the wallpaper. So you need to get the two of them to squish up to each other. I did a better job over here. You can't hardly even see that one because it's the ends are butted up against each other. All right, I'm done. So I finished wallpapering and then we need to put up the trim next. We got most of them cut. We were just getting a little frustrated with the angles. So we got the liquid nails going on over here and then we just bring it on into here and put it up on the wall. Benjamin is so loud. And we're just using little finishing nails to attach those onto there, and we'll use caulk and everything to kind of cover them up. The angles were pretty darn hard to get, so that's about as best we could get. This one's a little worse. It's a little bit crooked in here, but that can all just kind of be covered up with the caulk.
My husband doesn't love being filmed for these videos, but we do love doing DIYs together. We work very differently. He likes figuring things out through, research on YouTube or in different blogs, and I like figuring it out as we go. But we work together really well, and we really laugh a lot and enjoy the process together. This was our first time using caulk, so we learned you're supposed to make the smallest possible holes. We used a literal thumbtack, and when we put that onto the walls, it created kind of like a swirly pattern. You can see that here. Not sure if that's how it's supposed to go, but it actually worked out just fine. The line was perfectly crisp, just like it was supposed to be, and we went ahead and did the same thing in the corners, applying the caulk and then wiping it away with the wet cloth.
Anyone else feel like once they start DIYing, it just kind of snowballs? Because now I have all this leftover wallpaper and I'm like, man, I gotta do something else with it now. So gotta think of a project to use all of this up.
So because, as we learned, no walls are ever square, there were these gaps between the trim and the beadboard. So we found this painter's putty. Really didn't know what this stuff was, but it said to just make a snake out of it and then squish it into the crack. Yeah, as you can tell, this is not working. So we gave up on that and just went back to the caulk.
What you do, put that on YouTube if you ever want respect.
I don't know, you let me know. I really honestly cannot tell where the seam is. I'm pretty impressed with this caulk. So it's right, I don't even know. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's that one. But no, it's this one because that's where the nail is. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I like this caulk. All right. Let's do the next one.
So after we were done caulking the top edge and the corners, it was time to countersink these nails. So we used this little tool here and just press on the top of the nail and in they sink a little bit, and we're able to fill them up with a little bit of caulk. is something I should probably do all around our house, just cleaning up the paint that is on the ground a little bit just from the previous painters. It's super simple with a screwdriver, and it makes a big difference, making it look much more crisp. We then caulked with the waterproof caulk around the sink area where it's going to get wet.
It's time to paint. So we did decide on white, partially because we found this in the garage that was left here. So I think it was the paint that was used for the kitchen cabinets, because it says like cabinet and trim, and it's supposed to be like a really, really durable paint and it's waterproof. So we looked that up, and just since it's gonna be like close to the sink. So my husband's finishing up caulking around the sink right now down there, and I'm gonna go ahead and sample this paint on the wall.
Yep, right there. So we're just going to take a little moment to admire that little nail on the left side of the screen that caused us so many troubles. So we used these in our last video to attach the beadboard to the wall, and we bought them at the hardware store because they did say beadboard nails. So this was a little misleading. Still don't know what these are used for, but aesthetically they were just not right. So we don't have a nail gun that would be able to do this much easier, of course, so we were using a hammer and then trying to countersink the nails. But these nails you can't countersink because they have this wide flat head. So we had to go in, my husband was using pliers and I was using this little mini crowbar that I just like fell in love with and will be using for the rest of my life in every DIY that I do. Now at this point, both my parents came into town for my husband's graduation, and they have lots of renovation experience and were able to help us finish things up. I'm pretty proud of this hack here. So this here is just like an old t-shirt, and what I did was just like cover the toilet back. What's that called? Basin? Yes. Bowl. No, the bowl was the other part. All I did was just cover the back of the toilet with this, and that way the back was completely covered while we were painting, and I didn't feel like we were going to accidentally paint the toilet. Whoever invented the paint roller deserves a pat on the back, because this makes projects go so fast. I can't imagine how fast projects must go with those massive ones.
Have you really been painting if you're dog paint in your hair and all over? Coming along, but this is bothering me that this is silver, and I want to finish this project today. So I think I'm gonna try to take this off and spray paint it. So I've opened up the back of the toilet to take this off. I had to watch a YouTube video to figure that out. Is it not? Perfect. Alright, so my dad helped me get the flush handle, and I tape this up, this so that I just paint the bottom part, that matte black spray paint that I have.
So it's probably really windy, noisy out here, but I'm using this Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint. I really like this one. I've used it for a few other projects before, and it turns out really well.
The trick to a good even coat of spray paint is keeping the can far away from the item and just doing light coats. Here I did 5, and then let it dry a full hour between.
This actually was the light fixture as well. I never showed that last video when we got that up. But I got this from Facebook Marketplace. It was like, it's like the whole thing. It was $40 for all of it. And I guess it's upside down for you there. It is the towel like holder, the hook, the toilet paper holder, and a little like hook for the wall. So we're not even gonna use all that. Unfortunately, the toilet paper holder is like not, it just doesn't work. Like I buy Costco toilet paper, so maybe that's the problem. But it like just barely fits. And then it's just tight. Like that's just not ideal. So we ordered one from Amazon, super simple, the same like square shape, and because we did like the towel holder
from this set. So we'll use these here, and I'm gonna figure out with my husband how to put these onto the wall. That's not right. We all know that's not right. I hope we all know that that is right. That is how the toilet paper goes on.
We made sure that we were going directly into a stud just for the strength of these, and we just installed these fixtures according to their packages, and it was super simple. They came with this adorable little hex wrench. I think I just love small tools.
All right, so we just finished putting up the towel hook holder thing, and now I will show you the mirror that I thrifted. So I got one on Facebook Marketplace, and my husband went to pick it up, and I didn't really check the measurements that much, and it turned out to be massive. So I'll insert a clip of that one, and I have plans. I'm going to make that one into something, but it just is way too big. I found this one while we were thrifting right here, and I think it's just perfect. Brings the wood into the room. I love having wood in every space. It kind of just adds warmth to the area, and it is old. I think the back looks old and everything, and there are 2 stickers on it, but this one is the one they gave it to me for $12.49, but of course it was 50% off day, so $6 something for this sweet mirror. So I'm going to be using this little hook, and it is rated at 100 pounds, so that should be plenty for that. And then I'm going to use command strips on the bottom so that it doesn't like tilt at all. Ideally I would have 2 of these so that they could be like one here, so that not really even for the weight, but just so that it doesn't like twist at all. But I don't want to go to the store, and I only have one right now, so we're gonna make do with it.
I still can't get over how perfect this mirror is for this space. In my research, I found that you are supposed to find a mirror that is the same width or a few inches more narrow than your sink width, and then you should hang it a few inches above the highest point of your faucet.
So here's how the mirror looks. Oh, hello. The only problem with it is definitely that it slides a little bit. So I gotta put those command strips on, but also that it's kind of tilted back, or like forward, I guess, because this beadboard is back there, right? So my plan is to use these floor protectors that you would put on the bottom of furniture and stick those back there to give it a little bit of height, and then put the command strip back there so that it doesn't swing at all. And then it should be perfect.
Here's another thing I could probably do throughout our whole house. The previous painters just didn't take these plates off before they painted. And so there's some paint on the sides, and here you can tell how I've just scraped it off and it looks a lot better.
So I had to just move these a little bit to the left. Don't worry, I have the breaker off. I have a little bit of leeway right in here so that you can choose to slide it a little that way or that way. And our hole just ended up a little bit more open on this side. So the way this is now, it covers up the hole perfectly. And now I'll just screw those on. If you ever end up doing this, is the left is actually tightening it and the right is loosening it. So it's backwards. That got me. I even knew after taking it off and then I was so frustrated trying to get it back on. So here's the little book that we've been using to like take measurements and plan for different steps and everything. And here is the page that I first started with of how much I thought things were going to cost. So you can see here I have like a darker pen that I was using, and I thought that the mirror was gonna be 15, but that only turned out to be 6. Then all of these, you can see the wallpaper was 88 total. The wood was our other big expensive thing. The beadboard was 100, and then like the trim was like $24. All of this came out to
$357.
All right, we're ready. So let me show you the bathroom. Alright, so that is our bathroom. We absolutely love it. We learned a lot through this process, particularly that it is very important to use the proper nails because just taking out all those nails was such a pain, but it's okay. Live and you learn, and one day when we own our own home, I think that we're gonna be able to make some beautiful changes in there and know exactly how to do it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment below if there's a house project maybe that you are working on or that you have done, or maybe if you'll take some of these ideas into your own bathroom. And if you are enjoying this content from me, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. It's that red button down below. And until next time, bye friends.